What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Venator Trading 10K to $2 million funding challenge. Live on YouTube. It is Thursday, August 10th. Sponsored by the Bespoke Funding Program. Trade up to $4 million. Trading capital. You can use the discount code Venator on any challenge that you purchase through Bespoke and get 15% off and an 85% lifetime profit split. Now they actually have a better discount code running right now on their to try to pump up their Discord channel and their new dashboard that they just released. So you can use the affiliate link on my YouTube profile page, and that'll still help out the stream a little bit. But welcome in, guys. Glad you're here. Welcome back. We finally took a trade. I still feel so excited about that yesterday, man. Somebody asked me how it was on Twitter. How have I felt weathering the 2.5 week trading drought? And I said, I really honestly didn't really care about not taking a trade. I felt worse for the live stream than anything else because it's just been boring, man. Nothing to see, nothing to do, just waiting. Just waiting. It's all it's been for 2.5 weeks. So I'm glad that we finally got to take a trade yesterday, and we busted out a winner. We didn't just take a trade, we won that thing, which really helps with our drawdown situation. We were at 6% drawdown. Now we have this is the beauty of risk reward ratio and not changing anything. We're only 2%. We're back to just 2% drawdown on after winning one trade. So I'm telling you, risk management and letting your edge in the market do its job, it will fight for you. It will pull you out of drawdown. It will get you funded. You can't change anything. You can't be manipulating things. You can't be just getting freaked out and impatient. 2.5 weeks, y'all. We didn't take a damn trade for 2.5 weeks. We waited. We found some setups. We just didn't get our entry, and so the trades got canceled. But I mean, hell yeah. What a great it feels good. To anybody that tells you that you shouldn't get excited about winning a trade, don't believe them. They get excited when they win trades. And if they've gone 2.5 weeks without even taking a trade, it feels even better. So, yeah, still excited. So, good morning, everyone. John, Mr. Partha, welcome in. Adrian, LOL, H, Cisco, Alpha Bridge. EJ had a big move. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. Beeswax. H is still in some EU trades, looking for those equal highs just up above us there. Good morning, Kenneth. And let me think, who else is in here? Y'all are talking about CPI already. Chase, thanks, man. Congrats on the win. Yeah, it's a good day yesterday. Thanks, LOL. Daz messed up and only put a 1% risk. That's not, I mean, it's a mess up if you're not supposed to be risking 1%. It's a mess up. Oh, we've had that ASMR trading. Yeah, it's back. Good morning, Mr. Alfie. What's up, Muhammad? Good evening, sir. Biolomansky, good afternoon. Corey, what's up, bud? Corey, how's it going, man? How's that account? Trading night. Hello, Team Texas. Texas is God's country. Let's go. All right. We'll get into this. We'll be doing our giveaway tomorrow on the live stream. I will give you instructions on the live stream tomorrow about how to enter and win. It will be very quick. It will be at 9 a.m. Eastern. 9 a.m. Eastern, we will do the giveaway tomorrow. And I'll just tweet something out. You guys will have to retweet it, and then we will quickly pick a winner. All within about 5 minutes. So it'll just be for the live stream view. I mean, it's always only for the live stream viewers, but I'm not telling anybody else. All I'm doing is telling everyone there's a giveaway at 9 tomorrow. That's it. But what it does is it just ensures that the person who wins will for sure already be here. And we don't have to go through like 7 or 8 different things. I haven't taken a trade this week. I know how you feel, bro. I know how you feel. LOL swung the EU position. I told you yesterday that these were looking super juicy and they would probably get hit. But I don't do that. We just go for the 1 to 2 on this strategy. But they indeed did get rallied too. And it looks like these relative equal highs are probably next in line to get tapped. Real interesting. We've got news at 8:30. We've got all of the dollar inflation numbers coming out, the year over year, the core inflation, the month over month. Look, if inflation comes in hot, my guess is that this tanks, because if it comes in hot, that definitely means that they're going to keep raising the interest rates, and that will pump the dollar. If inflation comes in as maybe a little bit lower than what they are expecting, then this will probably just be a rocket ship today. So I don't know. We'll watch and wait and see if we get an opportunity to take an entry. But for sure, no entries until after that news comes out in about 80 minutes or so. Oh, man. We do go again today. We do go again. But for all of you who did hold that and targeted these equal highs up here, good job. You hopefully cashed in on that position. That could have been even if we had held this, it would have been a break-even trade for us, because we would have moved to break-even where the TP got hit yesterday. We would have moved to break-even. Well, we did move to break-even. I called it out, but then it came back. We would have been out of break-even. Then the next opportunity you had would have been the Asian session ran these lows, and then we didn't really get much displacement anywhere until here. And there was never any pullbacks. It's just been a race to the highs, very quickly, a race to the highs. So, yeah, there's not much going on. There's one little small, tiny liquidity grab right there, and we've had some displacement away. There's a small little fair value gap in here. I'm not taking any trades until 8:30 or after. That 15-minute candle, when the news drops, we'll have to print, and then we'll start looking for an opportunity to get involved here. Pound, very similar. We took out these lows. There was no breaker here to get involved in. There was no displacement anywhere. It's just been running higher. So same story there. Nothing going on until we get through the news hour. And pound, you can see, is in this very tight little hourly range right here. So we've had some manipulation. Now we're accumulating again. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens with the dollar. Here's the fall off, the correlated fall off. Oh, excuse me. The drop off, excuse me. That correlates with the euro dollar pump. We're taking out the lows. These are the next highs to get swept. So yeah, it's just this. We're trading it, just as a reminder, we're trading in between two fair value gaps. These two fair value gaps have bound up price on the daily time frame here on the dollar. So we have failed to displace above this high here. We swept sell side liquidity. We have pulled back into a premium level into the OTE area. And now we're just waiting to see, where does the dollar want to go? If we displace above this high, then we could potentially have a breaker, a daily breaker. Then that points us back up here into this level over the next several weeks. And inflation is really what's going to drive all that. Whatever happens. If, like I said, if inflation drops and comes in a lot softer than expected, then you're probably going to see the dollar start heading back for these lows. At least this swing low right here, for sure, inside that fair value gap. Beyond that, maybe this order block here, somewhere in here just below that fair value gap. All to be seen. Oh, I'm just glad the market's moving. I'm glad it's moving. GJ, we looked at this yesterday. We had said, if you remember, I had said, I don't want to take this trade because it's counter trend. We're in an uptrend. And just because we grabbed liquidity here and displaced through, this was a bear trap right here. This was like, hey, we should get short. We've changed structure. We've displaced through. There's fair value gaps. And I was like, hell no. This thing's in an uptrend. And there you go. But we talked about that yesterday. We also talked about the EU trade not coming back down. It just tapped into that breaker right there and just accelerated away. Trying to see if there's any opportunity for EJ here. There's a liquidity grab here. Not really anything. Oh man, I got the yawns already. Here we go. Tiny little liquidity grab. Not much of anything. Nothing here that is picture perfect. So US 30 yesterday did come back up, and we were watching and it displaced through here. You could have chosen a couple of different places or breakers before that liquidity was run. Probably would have used something in here. If you had used these two or that big one, there's not a good clean fair value gap in there on the 15, but on the 10, there's a beautiful little fair value gap right there. It did wick back up. So US 30 also would have been a nice little breaker play right there. Easy 1 to 2.1. That was a nice looking setup yesterday. Right after the 9:30 open, we get that Judas swing up, and then it just tanked. We're back inside now, and just back inside this choppy range. You can just see we're moving sideways all through here. So I'm guessing the news will have a pretty good impact today. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know why when I start talking, I start yawning. Because I feel great. I don't feel tired at all. Similar story on S&P and the NAS there. The U.S. oil trade we were looking at yesterday actually ended up working out. Nice little 1 to 2. Since then, we have grabbed liquidity and headed back down. But remember, we're in an uptrend. So not ready to, until you see a change of structure on a higher time frame, I would not try to get on a counter trend trade here. I know it looks really, really tempting that you've run liquidity, you've displaced through, and you look right over there and you're like, oh, but look right there. There's such a pretty little breaker. Well, yeah, I mean, it can work. It can work. But it's a counter trend trade, and I would just be highly suspicious of anything counter trend that is this up. You don't like, yeah, it could work, but just stick with the plays that give you and let you move in the direction of the trend. That's all you need to do. So wait for liquidity to get run, wait for displacement, and then get in and catch the next leg up. If on a higher time frame you get a break of structure, then you can start considering those downside moves. But just, I know that looks really, really juicy, but caution. You're in an uptrend. You have to, if your rules allow you to take counter trend trades, by all means, you should take them. Mine do not. Mine don't necessarily ban me from taking counter trend trades, but it's like extreme caution. Be careful. And so they need to just be, I don't know. I need to not have a very, very clear bias on that day for me to take a counter trend trade. Like if that day's bias is counter trend, then maybe I'll take a counter trend trade. But that's about the only way I do that. So we're just going to be chilling here for the next hour and about 12 minutes. So we can, if there's some charts you want to look at, if there's some pairs you want to look at, if there's some drama you want to get into in the chat, we can do that. I think I've missed, what have I missed over here? The Funded Trader released some stats yesterday. It's crazy how no one can keep a giveaway account. I did see that. I really wish that some of these prop firms would show you their statistics on revenue. I wish they would tell us how much of their business is supported and depends upon challenge fees being purchased continuously versus how much their business is built upon the profitability of trading. Because that, to me, is the most important factor to see if a firm is viable or not. Because if the majority of their business success depends on people purchasing challenges, what happens when another company pulls that customer base away? What happens when those customers just decide, I'm done failing and I'm going to stop buying challenges? They would not be able to support themselves solely from trading. They would have to stop paying people out. They would have to change something. because they would no longer be able to sustain themselves. And so in the beginning of any prop firm, they're basically just making money from people buying challenges and failing. That's what they're banking on, is that 90% of the people that sign up with them are going to lose and not get a payout. But at some point, those thresholds have to cross. And the number of people, the amount of money that you're making from profitable traders needs to overtake the revenue from failed challenges. Otherwise, you're doomed for failure. I just don't think it's long-term sustainable to solely depend upon people just repeatedly buying challenges. Mostly because more and more firms keep being started, which waters down and cuts down the pool of customers, of clients. And so when that gets shallower and shallower, the number of people buying challenges at your prop firm go down. And I just think it would be very, very interesting to see. I think somebody posted a couple weeks ago, and I think My Forex Funds was who did it. But they said at some point this year, the revenue from trading will exceed the revenue from challenges. My Forex Funds is a huge prop firm. It's a top 3 prop firm in the space. They've been around for 3 or 4 years. They have paid out millions and millions of dollars. They have thousands of funded traders. And they are just right now, and they're still not even there to where their trading profits are going to exceed their purchased challenges, the revenue. That should tell you that all of these new prop firms, they are still in very precarious positions. So they definitely are not making more money from trading than they are from challenges, which means at any point in time, their business could dry up. And then what do? How can they continue to pay out funded traders when people stop buying challenges? So it's a tricky game, the prop firm space. It's a tricky game. I also saw a kind of a tweet exchange between the CEO of MyFundedFX and Raja Banks. I don't know if you guys saw that on Twitter. But Matt, the CEO of MyFundedFX, was talking about how he had just gotten off a call. I'm not sure if it was a call or if it was just like a DM exchange, but basically a broker was offering him an account to push their brokerage. And this brokerage would give them access to their back end, to where Matt would be able to go in and enter any trade that he wanted and have the outcome that he needed. So he could just basically, he could show that he had $1 million account and that he had a $100,000 winning trade, and he could just manipulate MT4 and it would be reflected on like MyFundedFX or anywhere else. Like it would look legitimate, but it's just complete manipulation to entice other people to use that broker. And so he started talking about that, and Raja replied to him and in a typical Raja fashion, and started, they just got into it a little tit for tat about brokers versus prop firms and so on. And they both made really good points. The prop firms are still completely dependent upon brokers. And so These prop firms are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to these prop firms every month for the volume on accounts and trades that they're doing with these brokers, because of all the accounts that they have with them. So the brokers are doing pretty good. If you're a broker and you can get a prop firm or a couple of prop firms to use you, you don't need people signing up with personal accounts to make money anymore. You can just become a prop firm broker and just kill it from prop firms paying you on the back end. And you don't need personal accounts anymore. And so it's just real interesting how the whole trading world is developing and all of the little nuances that are coming into play. More and more, I think you'll see over the course of my guess, over the next year, you'll see a lot of these new prop firms burn out. And only the ones that have a very, very, very solid data collection to know the percentage of traders to A-book and which traders they should be A-booking. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out in my mind. You're probably going to see some regulation at some point in the next year or so, I would think. With prop firms, the governments are not just going to let these businesses make millions and millions of dollars without getting their fingers into the pie, so to speak. So they're going to want to say, ooh, we need to give some oversight to that. And while we do that, we're going to figure out how to take a piece as well. So that's probably going to come in at some point. And so prop firms better be in a position right now to handle the regulatory. They should try to be anticipating what are the things that a regulatory commission would be wanting to see in a business in this space. And they should be trying to institute and live into those practices right now. Transparency, separate funds, reporting, all this kind of stuff. And also that will bring some recourse to traders when that happens. It'll hopefully bring in some ability for traders to be reconciled or made whole if a prop firm screws them over. So there's good and bad. It could change the industry a little bit, but I don't know that it's not gonna eliminate the industry, but it would change it. And prop firms need to get ready for that because it's probably gonna happen sooner rather than later. Doesn't really change anything for us on the trading side. We're just going to be trading. The most important thing is that the biggest thing that as traders that we need to do is choose a good prop firm. Choose a prop firm that has a history, a very public history of good customer support, good technical support, great trading conditions, but probably the most important is they consistently pay out, and there is a very large and public record of their payouts. Those are the companies that you want to stick with. The ones that don't have a very public image, they don't have a lot of following, they're not active on social media. Those are the ones that you probably are going to be more worried about. So just the pricing right now is basically identical across the board. The plans that are offered are all basically identical across the board. The nice thing is that because everybody is basically plateaued and the playing field is very, very even right now as far as traders being able to choose what prop firm to use. The good thing is that once you reach max funding on one firm, you can just you can just go to another firm, and you're basically going to have the exact same trading conditions that you did on the other one. So you can just go to the next one, repeat, go to the next one, repeat, go to the next one, repeat, and just stick to like the top 10 firms. I mean, just from the top 10 firms, you can probably get $6-7 million worth of funding. And there's no reason. That's another reason why why you're going to keep seeing new prop firms pop up, is because it's not like you just get funded with one and then you can't do it again. So you can see like Blake, the CEO of Smart Prop Trader. He also is, I think, a partner in the Funded Trader program and several others. And the reason he's starting more and more prop firms is because he knows, hey, look, once these traders get funded on this firm, and they let's say they get max funded with 300K or 400K or 600K or whatever it is, they can just go to my next prop firm and they can do it again, and I can just get their money again. So there's no limit to how many prop firms a trader can trade with. So that's why they keep opening more. Because you can, as a trader, like I keep saying, this is the golden age for traders. The prop firm age is the golden age for traders. We have access to more capital now than we've ever had before. I don't know how long it's going to last, so we should be taking advantage of this as aggressively as we can, because it will change. It will not stay like this forever. I'm catching back up. LOL. Yes, I only trade the New York kill zone. I'm gonna do a London session. Maybe we'll do it tonight. I don't know, or tomorrow, whatever you call it. It would be tonight for me. Maybe we'll do it, but I am gonna do a London session at some point. I just gotta work myself up to it, and the day that I do it, I can't be doing much the rest of that day because I will have to be up all night to do that. So trading night, the average salary you put on Twitter is annual in the US or monthly. Oh, that's definitely annual. Those numbers, the surgeon, the engineer, those are annual salaries. The average doctor's salary in the US is around 250 to 300K. Engineer's salary probably somewhere between 120 and 175K. Those are all annual numbers. Cisco says, I wish prop firms would split the stats based on if the person has other funded accounts already or not. Yeah, I'm not sure if they could do that. Only other funded accounts within that same prop firm. I don't know how they would do it if it was with a different firm. Alpha Bridge, I think 80-20, 80 from challenges. I think probably the vast majority of prop firms, the biggest chunk of revenue is challenge fees. And to me, it's got to be close to 50-50 or even more weighted on the trading side to be basically indefinitely sustainable. Morning, Candle Slayer. Daz, this is why when you do well, they make up some breach of the rules and kick you. Some of them do, yeah. You gotta watch out. There's no regulation there. They can just basically change their minds. Bakong, good afternoon all the way from South Africa. Welcome in, buddy. Daz, this is why FTMO are failing from the top because they kick too many people, although people can't make it public. Yep. Michael Dahl, good morning. Alpha Bridge, there's going to be some kind of regulation and registration fee on a yearly basis, probably. What do you think about the scammer Greg S. starting a prop firm? I don't know who Greg S. is, and I don't know what firm that is in reference to. Chase, I'd just avoid FTMO. The rules are a bit of a pain. Their rules are a bit of a pain. They have the highest drawdown. I mean, they have the highest profit target still at 10%. You can't trade news. I mean, there's all kinds of things with FTMO. FTMO was great and kicked this whole era of prop firms off, but they have failed to adapt. The prop firm space moved rapidly, it moved quickly, and they failed to adapt. So, I mean, they're still obviously very popular, but there are so many better options for traders out there right now than FTMO. Bespoke Funding Program, the sponsor of the 10K to 2 million current funding challenge, is one of those. Plug for the sponsor. They really are a great firm. That's not just a plug. They're solid. I don't know what their revenue split is. They haven't told me. I would assume because they're so young that they are still heavily reliant on challenge fees. But I have not seen their back-end algorithms and data collection to know how much is being A-booked and how much is being B-booked, etc. They have not given me that information. Maybe I can press them and dig into them and ask those hard questions. I just avoid FTMO. Which broker do you recommend from TFT, the funded trader? I don't know. My funded account with them is all through ACAP, and it's been fine. What do they have now? Think Markets and Purple Markets or Blueberry? Purple Trader. I can't remember which one they have now. I think they have a couple of options. And I haven't traded with the other ones since they've introduced the new brokers. I haven't used those other new brokers, so I have no information on or experience with those trading conditions with them. So I'm not sure if CBI gonna take those 4-hour equal highs and rebalance the weekly BPR. It'll be a nice fall today. Yeah. So here on this little fair value gap right up here. This weekly fair value gap is obviously a draw on liquidity. So this last week's high and 2 weeks ago's low, we have left this nice little fair value gap. And what they're talking about on the BPR is that same distance, this same area. I'll just draw it in. Across these two bars is BPR balanced price range. So you have a fair value gap here, and then you had another fair value gap immediately created. So this range in here is where you would anticipate price to redraw to, and then it could roll over from right there. This however, we're in an uptrend, and we just put in, it looks like we're trying to put in a swing low right here, much like we did 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 right here. So we're putting in swing lows, higher lows. This could be a swing low, and then we're going to take out this high up here. If inflation numbers, like I said, if inflation numbers come in soft, I would anticipate euro dollar to rocket up into this range here. And I think, you're going to get back inside this weekly volume imbalance up here again, and then we'll have to see what happens from there. But I agree with much of that analysis. John says, I've never heard of Raja Banks until I started listening to you. It seems I don't need to follow him as I get enough drama from ICT and Patrick Whelan. That would be like bringing Dallas and Knotsland. Yeah, you don't. You're definitely getting enough from those two for sure. And I mean, Raja he's just a character. He has a persona. He has an online persona that he lives into to build his business. He is a very good marketer. He is a very smart businessman. And whether he can actually trade live or not, which is a hot debate inside the trading world, at least the Forex trading world, it doesn't matter. He's very good at what he does. And he understands his role in the community. And he understands, he plays the bad guy card. He understands that he's a guy that likes to be hated and he knows he can make a lot of money being the guy that people like to hate. So, I don't know why people get so ill and worked up by it all. To me, it's very easy to see the act. And I'm like, guys, he's obvious. This is just who he is. It's not like he's everybody that I've followed some people that have met him in real life and interacted with him in a private, personal, one-on-one setting, and they said it's a super nice guy and easy to get along with, and just down to earth, whatever. So, God, don't believe what you see online so much. It's just a marketing thing. That's all it is. And you just need to accept it for that and move on. So a lot of Patrick's stuff is the same thing. Is the London stream a yes or under maybe? I don't know. It's gonna happen. I promise you the London stream's gonna happen. I just don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow. I don't know. And that tweet that I put out yesterday with the annual salary numbers, God, I can't believe how many people are interacting with that. I didn't think it was that good of a tweet, actually. But my Twitter just keeps popping up with all these notifications of people liking or retweeting. And I'm just like, why that tweet? I don't get it. FTMO is going to be at the very end of my list. Yeah, mine too. Think Market, Purple, and 8cap. Yeah, 8cap with Bespoke has been absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I've had no issues whatsoever with 8cap with the Bespoke firm. So I don't know why on other firms there's massive slippage with 8cap or technical issues. That's never been experienced here with Bespoke. Knock on wood, it stays that way. YT says Think Market is the best, but commission should be 5 lot instead of 7. Yeah, I think Think Markets has probably from what I understand, has a pretty good trading environment as far as spreads go, but they do have the higher commission. Bespoke is $4. Best commission I think out there for Forex right now is $4 round trip. Most are 5 or 7, so you got to take that into account. If you don't know who Greg Secker, you must be on YouTube Premium because he is always running ads. Yeah, I have YouTube Premium. I do not. I hate watching ads. I've had YouTube Premium for a couple of years. I can't stand sitting through all that. I just pay it and I'm done with it. So the weekly consequent encroachment is the same 4-hour consequent encroachment. Is it random? I don't know. Could be. How do you recalibrate your psychology? Like when you're not feeling well because of drawdown, loss streak, and other stuff outside of trading, how to get back on track? Do you read, watch ICT videos? I don't read or watch ICT videos anymore. Mostly because the new stuff he's doing, the live trading he's doing, the 2023 mentorship stuff he's putting out, I have not found useful. The 2022 was extremely useful. And then the release of all of his old teaching concepts and the stuff that he already had on YouTube, it's all you need. And it's honestly more than enough. It's too much, in fact. That's people go down the ICT rabbit hole and they quickly become exasperated with the amount of information that they have to try to incorporate into their trading to find a concept that works. So I don't go back and listen to the ICT video stuff anymore. He's the reason I'm profitable. Like I totally credit him in my understanding of how to trade right now and my profitability. So, but I don't just go back now and rewatch. As far as psychology goes, what was the question? How do you recalibrate your psychology? I don't know that I've really felt like I needed to do that recently. Even in this, I mean, we were in a losing streak and we were in drawdown. So for a month and a half, we've been at like 6% drawdown and in a losing streak. So, but I've never felt bad about it. I think it's honestly because I have a long-term perspective. I'm not worried about any 3 trades or 4 trades. I'm truly focused on the next 100 trades. I really am. That's pretty much all I think about is the data and the statistics for the next 100 trades. That's where everything falls for me. And I think most professional traders, that's what they're locked into. They're not focused on the outcome of the next trade. They're not focused on necessarily their account balance when they look over and see whether they're in drawdown or not. All they care about is executing their strategy to the best of their ability every single time they sit down to trade. That's our focus. It's not on profit and loss. It's not on percentage gain, won or lost. It's, did I execute today? That's the only thing I care about. The numbers, the profits, the profit and loss, the percentages, the challenges, the funding, the payouts, all of that takes care of itself when the trader just focuses on executing their strategy. That's it. So I don't get junked up about being in a drawdown. I don't get junked up about having not taken a trade for 2.5 weeks. Yes, I sit here on the stream and I'm like, oh, this is so frustrating. Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's just more recognition that I'm frustrated with it. It doesn't really affect anything else. I don't get mad. I don't let it play into, like, I have chosen to not let my emotions dictate my next action. I'm not going to do that. I did that for years. I'm never going back. I keep saying that. I'm never going back. I let my emotions determine my actions for years as a trader. And all it brought was depression and anxiety and frustration and anger and sadness. I mean, it does nothing good for you when you let your emotions determine your actions. Your feelings are fickle. They are completely fickle. They can change with the way the wind blows. You cannot live your life based on how you feel in the moment. Now, there are some things, obviously, that spontaneously you just decide to go do, and there's fun and excitement in that. But I'm talking about actual living your life, your purpose in life, your income, your job, your identity. It's not based on how you feel. So when you let your feelings dictate, when your feelings become the most important thing in life, you are setting yourself up for some of the worst consequences that you could probably think about from an outcome perspective. It's just not wise. It's not wise. Your feelings are there to help you understand number one, your subconscious mind is there to protect you. Your subconscious mind thinks it needs to keep you safe, and it misinterprets situations all the time, trading being one of them. It misinterprets the danger. So it's always thinking, is this a dangerous situation? And how can I make this guy do something to remove the danger? And it's not just in trading, it's all of life, but specifically to trading. So your feelings are just little bitty alarms that go off. But you as a person have to be smart enough, wise enough, and mature enough to recognize, that alarm's going off. I need to go turn it off because I know the situation and that's a false alarm. I need to turn it off. So yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I don't know that I have a specific thing to do that recalibrates. I mean, walking away and getting away from the charts is probably the easiest thing to do, is when you don't feel great, that you just get away and you wait until you can think clearly, and you get into a spot where emotionally you're back in control. So just kind of a little rant there. I don't know if that was helpful or answered your question. There you go. Ad block is a godsend. Yeah, ad block, unless you're trying to get revenue from ad streams on your YouTube channel. Greg, who does those ads in Scotland, then see him and else. I don't know who Greg. I think now that I've heard his name, Greg Secker, I think I've heard his name, but I don't know who he is or what he does or if he's a scammer or not. I don't know anything about him. Ancient Past says 8cap execute orders outside of the spread on indices, but the issue isn't major. The zero commission probably compensates for that. I've not had that experience, but I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying I have not had that experience. Same point. I don't care about winning or losing. What I'm focusing on is to execute at the perfect time, and it must be a high probability setup. Yep. That's it, man. You're right, Candle Slayer. It is all about execution of your trading plan. That's what it comes down to. 11 likes. Wow. I think that is a direct shot across the bow from Bakong, shaming the rest of you into not liking the live stream. So let's get those likes going. We can do it. Let's go, bro. I'm up 3.97 with a win rate of 28.97. A 29% win rate. So you must be, are you going, hopefully you're going for like 1 to 3 RRs then. But up 3.97. I don't know what the R mean. It says R397. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I don't know if that's dollars, if that's percentage. I don't know what that means. Journal your emotions before and during the trade, then look back and you will quickly see they were silly thoughts. Yeah. That's a great point, Des. This is one thing that really helped me. I didn't actually journal my emotions. What I did is I just talked out loud to myself. Like, I'm sitting here in my office. There's nobody here. I would talk to myself much like I'm doing right now while I was trading. And I would talk about what I was feeling specifically. Because when you hear yourself say it out loud, sometimes you realize how ridiculous it sounds. And you realize how much of a baby you're being. And you realize how stupid it is to make that decision you're thinking about. And when you hear yourself say it out loud, it can have a big impact. So not even just writing it down, but actually saying it in the moment, talking it through to yourself. Oh my God, I'm so angry right now. Why am I angry? Well, let's think about that. Oh, well, and then you talk it through. And you basically become your own counselor to some degree. But for me, that really helped, is just talking to myself out loud, not just having the thoughts in my head, but actually saying the words out loud. in the moment made a big difference. And like I said, I just realized how much of an emotional baby I was and how immature I was, that I was letting these emotions run rampant and control me. And once I realized that, I was like, you know what? That's stupid. And then I just started telling my emotions to sit down and shut the hell up. And I was tired of listening to them. And that was very helpful. Oh, RRR, I mean. There you go. 1 to 4 RR. There you go, babe. I love it. Risk reward ratio, 3.97 is fantastic. And with a 29% win rate, you should be just fine. The thing with that is that you just have to be very comfortable knowing that you're going to lose most of your trades. You're going to lose 70 out of the next 100 trades. You're going to lose them. And for me, I don't like that. I just don't like the thought of that. I don't like handling that. I just don't prefer. I would prefer to win at least half of my trades. For my mental makeup, for my personality, for the way I like to trade, I don't want to sit there and I just don't want to take the chance that my mental makeup takes more damage than needed, and losing 70 out of 100 trades can do a lot of mental damage. The losing streaks you have to go through, the drawdown you have to go through, the amount of patience you need to wait for those premium A+ setups only to see them get smashed 70 out of 100 times. That's a lot for a lot of people to swallow, which is why I like to go for 1 to 2 low, easy hanging fruit. It's easy trade management. It's a very stress-free, and the fruit at the bottom of the tree tastes just as sweet as the fruit at the top of the tree. So that's why I do it. But good for you, man. That's a great risk reward ratio to have. Hopefully you can find a way to bump up that win rate a little bit more too. That would be awesome. Matthew says, I'm glad there's CPI news today to break the range. EU and GU are in at the minute. Matt, me too, man. It's been pretty disgusting. The end of July and the first part of August. So yesterday you called out a loss, then boom, TP. Did I? I called out a loss? Oh, when the trade got triggered, I said, I hope it loses here on the live stream when it was wicking down like that. Is that what you were saying? Daz. Yeah, I mean, that's why, looking back, I actually went back and reevaluated this trade, and I told you, if you go back and look, I said, hey, there's a fair value gap under here, but I'm just going to target 50%. If I had followed my rules, my entry would have been down here. My TP would have probably been about the same place, and I would have had an easier time hitting that 2 to 1 if I had taken the true entry that I should have. And we would have still gone into drawdown a little bit, but not like we did. So I should have followed my rules and taken the fair value gap entry right there, and that would have saved a little bit of extra pain, if that's what you're talking about. All right, we're coming into the 8 o'clock hour here. The last hourly candle is closing bearish. We've grabbed buy-side liquidity here above these relative equal highs. We've filled in this fair value gap over to the left. And now we're just retracing. On the 15-minute time frame, you do have a nice little breaker setup forming, but we take no trade. Number one, it's counter trend. Number two, we have news coming out in 30 minutes. So there's no way we would consider taking a breaker trade right here off of this breaker block. These down candles initiated this run up. We've grabbed buy side liquidity. We've displaced back through. We're leaving. Well, we don't know yet. This candle needs to print, but if this candle leaves a fair value gap behind, you would have a nice little breaker entry, but that leads you right into CPI, and we're not playing with that. We are not playing with that. Sorry, but I have to say that if a strategy has less than 50% win rate, that's basically not a strategy at all, because that's worse than a coin flip, actually. So you need to find a better one. Well, that's not necessarily true, because it's all about risk management, and you can win 30% of your trades. And if every time you win, you're making 4 times what you lose, you're going to be profitable. So it's not just because it doesn't have a high win rate, it does not necessarily mean it's not a profitable strategy. So that is one fallacy that, traders need to get it and understand, is that it's not the win rate. It's a combination of all of it, but you don't have to have a high win rate. But to have a low win rate means you better have some freaking strong psychology and self-discipline. And you've got to just not give a crap about losing, because you're going to lose so much. And it's just not fun. It sucks losing. Even as a profitable trader, it sucks losing. You don't want that. So that's why I prefer strategies that have at least a 50% win rate. I do not journal my emotions. There's a silver bullet bullish setup. Going for sell would be risky. Yeah, I would definitely not be taking any sells here. If anything, you're getting a run on sell side liquidity, and you might get some displacement up with the news, and then you might be able to get a pullback into here to get and run these highs. So we'll see how that all plays out. But this could just be the run on liquidity here. This move up to run down, grab some sell side to displace higher. Mathematically, it's risk reward coupled with win rate that makes it profitable, as Brad says. Yes, that's correct. You with risk management and risk reward ratio, you have to have, if you're going to have a low win rate, you have to have a high risk to reward ratio. That says, on every trade, I do my analysis of why I'm taking it, then what my emotions are saying to me before, during, and after. You have to be honest with yourself and write it down exactly what you think. Then you can understand actions to try to fix the issues. 100%, Daz. If you don't know what's going on, you can't fix what's going on. So to be able to, whether you're writing it down or whether you're just talking it out, all of those things extremely important to do in your journey as a trader. If you're consistently failing challenges and you're consistently just, being frustrated and making emotional decisions, nothing changes until you change how you're doing things. And so unless you have some data that shows and tracks what you're doing, and then you can identify the problems, you're going to be stuck. Logic says your views will be way higher if add after the title ICT live trading, lead more impressions for the YouTube algo. Oh yeah. If I put in ICT, I've thought about it, but I don't know. You're probably right. Oh. I feel like it would be kind of a coattails thing, like, you're trying to ride his coattails. A lot of people do that. There's something that feels a little icky about using him to promote myself and promote this stream. And I'm not against it. I'm not saying that guys that do it are doing it wrong or bad. It just, for me personally, I feel like, I don't know, I kind of like building this by myself. And it's going to grow because of what we do here, not because of what some external validation or marketing could possibly do. One of his strategies. Yeah, it's not definitely not all of it. It's just one piece of the puzzle, using just one ICT concept. That's all we're doing right now. That might change. We've talked about getting another 10K challenge and doing another strategy with it, and then running them separate and see which one. I can't remember whose idea that was. Somebody gave that idea the other day. I thought it was pretty good. Thinking about that. What's your opinion on going to college while also studying trading? I started studying ICT into January this year, not consistently profitable yet. Not sure if I should go to school or not. I don't. I don't know what to say about this, because I have some thoughts, and I know you're just asking me my opinion. I think here's the deal. So I have 4 kids, and 3 of them went to college. One of them has not. My daughter is a licensed professional counselor. And so for her, it made a ton of sense to go to school. You want those people to get a proper education. And you want them to be, have all the certifications and credentials that they need to sit across the couch from someone, listen to them, and then be able to help them process and work through the issues that are going on in their life. So she got her bachelor's and she got her master's, and now she's working full time as a counselor. And so school for her was extremely important. My other 2 that went to school, well, my daughter, she doesn't even still really know what she wants to do, but she's just going to school because that's where all of her friends are and that's what she wants to do. But I don't think it's going to be so here's the deal. Currently, to work in the corporate world, even just to get an interview, most people still want you to have a college degree. Now, the worth of that degree is highly debatable. You don't even have to have a degree in any specific field often just to get an interview. It's dumb. You're paying to have an opportunity to interview. The sad part is that very often that interview that you get is for a job that isn't even worth the amount of money that you spent on your education to get that interview. There are some fields and there are some industries that I still believe a college education is absolutely necessary. I think in general, you can educate yourself for free in whatever it is that you want to do in life right now. especially if you're trying to start your own business. I'm speaking in generalities, not speaking specifically to your specific situation. I'm talking generally. My opinion is college is overpriced, and the product that you get, i.e., education, is way overpriced, and it's not worth what you're spending it on. You can get the same education pretty much on YouTube or just online for free in a lot of other places, and learn from a lot of other people without ever getting that degree. Save yourself a lot of money and probably put yourself into a better position to actually know how to do what it is you want to do. There's still a gap, though, between having that little piece of paper from some school that says you went through these classes versus being able to prove your knowledge and expertise to a business. They won't even talk to you in a lot of cases unless you have that degree. You can't even tell them what your expertise is. You can't even demonstrate your knowledge and your ability to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. You can't even have that conversation with them because you don't have that little piece of paper that says you did those classes. So that's kind of the frustrating part for culture right now, is that there's still that icky battle that you have to play the game to be able to do what it is you want to do. Now, specifically to trading, I wish that I had learned this when I was a 20-year-old man. But I've also said, I don't know that I had what I needed to do what I do now as a 20-year-old man. The maturity, the self-discipline, the ability to manage my time, my money, myself. I don't know that I had that self-discipline back then that I do now. Well, I know I didn't. But that doesn't mean I couldn't have been profitable and turned it around. It probably still would have taken the same amount of time, and I would have gotten to where I am a little bit quicker. Now, should you just quit on school and focus 100% on trading? I can't make that decision for you, man. I don't know your situation. I don't know what's going on with you. My gut says is that you can do both. Trading is not so time consuming wherein you don't have all the extra time outside of trading to focus on your studies. So if you can continue to do both, I would say do both. It's not going to hurt you necessarily to keep doing the trading, but it could, to keep doing the school, but it definitely could hurt you if you stopped and you just set yourself back. If you decide at some point trading is just, you're not cut out for it and you don't want to do it anymore. So I would say you should just keep doing both, honestly. But my opinion is that college is more and more just a waste of time and money. And it just feeds everybody's mind to continue to live within the trap that we believe we have to do. We have to follow this path. Everyone has to follow this path to be successful and do what you want to do and blah, blah, blah. Again, I think there are some very specific fields and industries that you need that education, and you can probably only get it at a higher level of education institution. But more and more and more, the vast majority of education can probably be found for free. The problem is that you're going to be fighting an uphill battle to even have conversations with companies if they know that you don't have that degree. So it's a tough situation. That's just my general opinion on it. Cisco says, get your education too, as it could be sensible to have a backup. Agree. Get a job or part-time job and do trading on the side. Yeah, you could do that as well. That's definitely a good option. My suggestion, at least have a job before going full-time. I saved up so I can go on. Yeah, you definitely need to have a full-time income if you're trading until it becomes profitable. We talked about this on the stream yesterday, a little bit with our situation here. Same kind of deal. You don't just jump into trading. You need to have other means to support yourself. When you begin to trade out of desperation, when you start trading because you've got bills to pay and you start trying to pass challenges because you need to put food on the table, you're pretty much dooming yourself to failure and setting yourself up to trade with emotional decisions instead of executing your strategy the way it should be. So having that side hustle or part-time job or even full-time job, whatever your situation is that you need, you should be able to cover everything that you need in life away from trading income so that you can just focus on trading the way it needs to be given and not from an emotional standpoint. Cisco says most often the job also doesn't even require a degree. Yeah, it doesn't. There's so many jobs that you're not even going to use the degree you have, but they won't talk to you unless you have a degree of some kind. It's so dumb, man. Getting a meaningful degree is one thing. Getting a job in that field is a whole different story. You're exactly right. Have any of your kids taken an interest in trading? My oldest son has shown an interest, but not enough to where he, is all in on it. He shows up in the stream here occasionally. You'll see him. Metro. But, he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do or be when he grows up. He's trying to, he just got married. He just celebrated his 1-year wedding anniversary. And so, he's feeling the pressure to produce and just have consistent income for his new family. And so while he's interested in it and he's super proud of what I've done and what we're doing here, he has yet to be like, I'm doing this. Show me how. And he does know. I mean, I've shown him enough that he understands what we're doing. He understands trading. Like he has the basics down. But he definitely has not, he's not been like, hey, Dad, let's sit down. Show me how to do this step by step. Got to be able to work through a negative month. Strategies don't and won't provide you profits every month, and that doesn't mean it's not consistent. Correct. We had 21% profit gain in May and June, and then we had 6% drawdown all of July and the first part of August. So we're still extremely profitable, even considering the drawdown. We're still extremely profitable. But we sat in, and we're still technically in drawdown, but we've sat here for 6 weeks now. Thanks for the advice. I'm going for heating and cooling to become a certified gas technician. Only reason I asked is because my current job is 3 12-hour shifts, Friday through Sunday, so it's perfect for trading. That's a great setup. And quite honestly, learning a trade like that, oh, dude, that's killer. I've been trying to tell my other 2 kids that, going to a trade school and learning a trade like that, those jobs are in such high demand. You're always going to have work no matter what situation you find yourself in. More and more people don't want to get into a trade like HVAC or plumbing or electrical or whatever. Those hands-on jobs that you've got to know, you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to have a qualified technician to do that. They make a freaking killing. I promise you, the AC guys here in Houston, they make well over 6 figures a year. They are killing it right now. It's so hot. ACs are failing. You could just start your own company and be a one-man company, have your own little truck, and you could work from basically April until October or November, and then you could take off December, January, February, March, and April. You would make so much money in those other 8 months as an HVAC technician. You would be golden. So great. It's a great job. And yeah, man, a trade skill like that to learn, 100%. And if it lets you, dude, don't give up on trading. There's no rush to become a profitable trader. It's going to take you a while. It's going to take you several years, just like it would a college degree. I mean, that was what that whole tweet was about. People spend 10 years, surgeons go to school for 10 to 12 years so that they can get out and make $250,000 a year. Traders, they have this expectation that you can get there super fast, but it just doesn't happen. It takes just as much time to learn how to do this business and become profitable as it does any other industry. There's no shortcut. Alpha Bridge says, I don't have any degree, but I have a bunch of certifications in the IT sector. So the point is you need a real life profession as a fail-safe plan B stuff. Yeah. And that's what my oldest son did. He has several certifications in software engineering. But right now, because he doesn't have a degree and he only has his certifications, he's finding it very difficult to even get interviews with any kind of IT stuff or software engineering stuff, because two reasons. One, he doesn't have a bachelor's degree. And number two, AI is kicking the crap out of software engineering right now. You need to know if you know how to use AI, you can code almost anything with almost zero coding education needed. So he's in kind of a pickle right now and feeling that. He may turn over to trading. He may be like, all right, it's time to trade. All right, we got about 8 more minutes until the news hits. I'm just going to scroll through the charts and see what we're looking at right before we get into the news. Just want to see what might be going on. Some consolidation. Everything's just kind of winding up and getting ready for that news to hit. All right. I'm going to watch over here on Euro Dollar as we get there. Maybe AI can start coding AI. That will be the end of humanity for us, John. When the AI starts building better versions of itself, it will become exponentially, it will advance so exponentially fast that humanity will not be able to stop it. Make a better version of yourself. Identify your weaknesses and fix them. And it just does that repeatedly over and over and over and over. And then it realizes that humanity is the weakness that is keeping it from being better. And so then it decides we must eliminate humanity for me to become the best version of my artificial self. And then we're all just dead. I don't know. Maybe it is, and we just don't know about it. Terminator, man, I promise you, we create our own futures with the stories we write. It's like self-fulfilling prophecies. Look at the way we entertain ourselves. Look at the stories we tell ourselves, and a lot of times We write stories with concepts and ideas that so many times come to fruition down the road. And you can just look at old science fiction books, old science fiction stories, and look to where we are right now and how we have adapted technology to produce what those old stories told us we could do, or what would be cool to do. It's happened. Well, hell, look at the book 1984. And look at the future we now live in. Self-fulfilling prophecies. We just manifest it over and over again, don't we? The whole world just manifests. And AI is next, man. Evidently, aliens exist, which we wrote about. And now here they are. TradingNet says, if you ever get to launch your very own prop firm tomorrow, what are you going to do? If I was going to start my own prop firm, I mean, I don't know that I would do, I don't know that there's much different to do than what these prop firms already have and are doing. I think, quite honestly, I wish there was a prop firm that would create a challenge that, I don't know. I don't even know, man. I don't know that. I don't know. I haven't put any thought into what, if I was going to start a prop firm, how would I do it differently, or what would I offer that would make it stand out from anybody else? If I was truly trying to, if I was truly trying to build and find profitable traders, I think I would want to try to institute some kind of stricter trading strategy. Like actually have someone submit, like if you wanted to be a part of this prop firm, you need to submit your trading strategy. Show me what your strategy is. So basically you have to apply to be in the prop firm. Show me your trading strategy. Give me your written rules. And then we will build a challenge around that trading strategy for you. I think that would be interesting. And I'm just spitballing and throwing ideas out there. Like if traders had to apply to be a part of the prop firm, that way you would know going in what strategy and how diversified your portfolio was. That traders would say, I'm committing. Here's the strategy I'm going to use. I'm going to commit to using this strategy. If I violate the rules, I'm out. You can kick me out. Then maybe it would it would force traders to want to live into their strategies a lot more, knowing that if they violated the rule that they wrote, they're out. Maybe it would help traders stick to executing their strategies better. But building out custom challenges around each trader strategy. And then as a prop firm, you would be able to, we're coming into the news here in about 30 seconds. So we're about to see what these numbers come out to. But what I was saying, I'll finish my thought. It would allow the prop firms to have a much clearer identification of how many different strategies are being used. And that would give them more data specifically on, they could refuse certain traders because they already have enough traders using one specific strategy. All right, gapped up, and Euro's taking off here. Let me see what the numbers are. I'm going to go over here to my news website. Oof. Big pop up. So CPI 0.2. Unemployment claims came in a little bit hotter. Core CPI came in as expected. And the CPI year over year, it was 3.0. They were expecting 3.3. It came in at 3.2. So basically what this means is that the numbers came in soft, and they came in basically either under or at expectation, which is pretty much good news for euro dollar here. It means that they're less likely to be aggressive on raising interest rates, and so that's why you're seeing the dollar tank here, reaching back down aggressively into this area here. Pull up these numbers. So here you go. Month over month, it was forecast to be 0.2, and it was 0.2. Inflation year over year, they were expecting it to be 3.3, came in at 3.2. Core inflation last year was 4.8. It dropped to 4.7 year over year, so it was a small dip in inflation. Not much, but it did come down a little bit. But you can see the dollar just getting smashed. Absolutely smashed. And there you go. News is out. Everything is cranking. So we're back up into this weekly let me zoom in here. Reaching up into that weekly fair value gap and balanced price range right here. So we'll see how price, I feel like price is just going to rocket up here, but pretty bullish. We've taken out the previous week high, and we're back up into this fair value gap now. Into this daily order block right here. Oh. Excuse me. Red folder news days like this, I don't typically anticipate getting decent setups because you get such massive moves that and they come at 8:30. So we have 2 hours now before my kill zone ends, and I'm not going to take a trade. That's 8 15-minute candles that have left to print. So this being the first one. So between this candle and the next 8 15-minute candles, is there likely to be a beautiful setup for them? Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? I don't know. It really just depends on these next 2 15-minute candles for me. That's where we're gonna know. If this is just a big liquidity run here, we'll see a reversal and then a pop, a displacement back to the downside. But maybe GJ or EJ, we might be able to find something else. For instance, you get this sell side liquidity run and displacement up. Sell side liquidity, displacement up. We may find something over here. Indices shot up and reversed on US 30. Same on S&P, took out buy side. And NAS has taken out buy side, rebalanced that big move. Aussie similarly shot up and now has taken out buy side. Oil came right back up into that 30-minute breaker. Almost reached into that fair value gap, didn't quite. Oh, we'll just We'll see how these 15-minute candles close. We're just into the first 5 minutes. There's still 10 more minutes on these 15-minute candles, so plenty of time to watch and identify potential setups. Let's go back over here to not everyone would be willing to share their strategy. Well, I don't know why they wouldn't. If you're trying to get funded with a prop firm, let's say you were getting funded with a like you had to go into an office and trade kind of prop firm, like you were at a trading desk, that was your job. I guarantee you they're not going to hire you until you show them your strategy. So I think serious traders would have no problem revealing what their strategy is, how they trade, to gain access to potentially millions of dollars of funding capital. So I think that could be one way that prop firms could, number one, diversify across their portfolio. They could see where they were overweighted in certain strategies versus others, and not allow new traders with those kinds of strategies to come in. Hey, love. So I don't think people would. I think people would only not want to share their strategy because they're afraid to be locked in and not be able to change. That they would have to be stuck to trading that strategy. And reality is that's actually what would make them profitable, but they refuse to do that. Mama says you still need experienced coders who can verify those codes. ChatGPT is not that tuned. Yeah, I mean, it's getting there, but it is a problem. I don't agree with tight drawdowns in two funding phases. I mean, basically, you could just go to a one-phase challenge and just combine the profits. So instead of making 8% in one and 5% in two, you could just do a phase one challenge that has a 13% profit target. So all of that, those are all options you could do. Good job, H. Those relative equal highs just got completely run through up there. If we can get this candle to displace and the next candle to displace, we might have a nice little EJ set up there. Oh, yeah, for sure. There were definitely a lot of people that just blew their accounts on that news release. There were a lot of people that were expecting it to go down, and they got trashed. It happens every single time, and I don't understand why people still do that. It is 100% gambling. You have no edge in the market. It is a complete wild hair guess. Let's say you were going to go get a loan from a bank. They aren't going to give you a loan if you don't let them in on the deets. You're exactly right, John. That's why I was saying having traders prove their trading strategy to get access to funds and to build a challenge and to build a trading system around their strategy, a challenge around that specific strategy. It's huge, man. It's huge. You got to be able to do that. So I don't think it's I don't think it's a crazy idea. Yeah, the only reason not to share your strategy is you just don't want to be held accountable. To me, that's pretty obvious. Like, you don't want to give that information up because you don't want to be held accountable. And that's exactly what you need. Jeez. Market's getting trashed. Just getting trashed. Dollar reaching down to that daily fair value gap here and now pushing back up after the news release. So grabbed all this sell side liquidity and running higher. The inflation actually did rise. Like, the last time they did a year over year inflation, it was 3%. It went up. It didn't go down. It went up. So the month over month and core inflation were basically right where they are. But the year over year inflation data means that inflation is still not under control, and it actually rose. So you're looking at probably more interest rate hikes, which is going to push this dollar higher. So we'll see. Like I said, we've got 8 15-minute candles to identify a potential setup, and you've obviously seen huge run on liquidity both sides here. And then you're going to see a potential. You could see, if you get some displacement lower here, we might be able to find some kind of entry. But kind of another boring day, actually. You have to wait until the news hits. And you know that news like this is going to produce an incredible amount of volatility. So you're going to get these huge candles with these massive wicks or gaps. And it just kind of throws off the whole mojo for the day. Galaxy, I know you guys have put these in here a while ago. I'm not just ignoring you, but I do like to go back and read them. So I know they come in faster. I don't follow the chat comment for comment as they come in, so I'm sorry about that. They says, from the traders that I know in my country, most are unwilling to share what they know. When they talk to you and realize they know more than you, they cut you off. Well, I mean, it's not like you have to tell everybody what your strategy is. I'm just saying you have to tell the prop firm. You have to submit an application to a prop firm that says, I'm a good trader. Here's my strategy. And now here's the challenge for that I can build for this strategy. So if your strategy is a breaker block strategy and you're only going to take one trade a day and you're only going to have a max, you can only lose one trade a day, and then you're taking trades based on that strategy. And if you start taking trades that aren't part of that strategy, they can kick you out because you said this is the way you trade. And they want to know, they know that consistently profitable traders execute their strategy and they don't step outside of their strategies to do that. So it's not like you're just giving your strategy away to everyone who trades. It's just the prop firm that you want to trade with. These people who are about to give you 6 or 7 figures worth of funds to trade, I think it makes sense that they know what the hell you're trying to do. The boogeyman is back. Yeah, they scared him away again. Thank God. I don't know what we would do without our fierce golden doodles chasing off the vicious murderers waiting outside our back door every day. I was bullish on EU. The setup was so good, still didn't take because of news. Yeah, you just can't take that. Even if you are anticipating, like if you had gotten in down here and you were at break even and you were holding for those highs like H did, and I think somebody else did, cool. But if you hadn't gotten into a trade and you were still expecting those highs to get taken, you cannot get into a position with that news release coming. You can't do it. It's complete foolishness. Even if you pass a challenge with a news event, that's basically a big fat nothing. Correct. You just got lucky. And like I've said many times, luck is the worst thing that could happen to a new trader. Maybe you don't need to know the exact strategy details, but know the strategy results over a large number of trades. Maybe something like that. But I think, I don't know, I think submitting, again, if these prop firms are truly trying to find profitable traders, what are they doing to ensure that they're finding profitable traders? Currently, what they're doing is waiting to see. It's a complete waiting game. Waiting to see who pans out. And I'm just saying that, you know, it's not profitable to have an application process and vet people before the fact. Maybe make them still do a challenge, but then you would have a greater control over the amount of people using specific strategies on specific pairs and what kind of exposure your company's going to have, et cetera, et cetera. They would copy his trades. Yeah, I mean, ICT has enough funds that he doesn't need a prop firm. Number one. ICT has enough funds that he could be his own prop firm. That dude made so much money from private mentorships. Millions of dollars from membership fees over the course of the years. And that's not a hit saying he can't trade. That's just the God honest reality. He has so much money, he doesn't need a prop firm. So EU just lower time frame shifted off the breaker and 5-minute fair value gap. I wanted to scale in on at London. Right there. Yeah, I just I wouldn't have taken that, but very whipsaw here. Up, down, back up. It's like, what does the dollar want to do? We don't know yet. No clean direction on anything currently. Popped up, came down, now it's popping back up. So I know you were saying that sarcastically. I got you. Never will I pay an insane price for mentorship. It just depends on who the mentor is, quite honestly. For me, it's I don't know that I would pay for another mentorship right now, but mentorships are extremely valuable if you get with the right person in the right community. They've changed a lot of people's lives, and they've produced a lot of good traders. So they're not all bad, and some of them are very worth the money. But not everyone has the money to take advantage of something like that, which is one of the reasons I started this stream, is just to be able to give people who might not have access or the ability to have a community or a mentor helping them a chance to do that. And right now it's all free, and I plan on keeping it that way. But once we reach the $2 million funding, I don't know what I'm going to do, quite honestly. I will have put out hundreds and hundreds of hours of live trading and education and value and content. And so I don't know that I need to do any more than that. Aditya says, Venator is providing mentorship for free. It's more than paid mentorship. My psychology improved a lot for coming here. I'm glad that's helpful, and I'm grateful for that comment. That's exactly why I wanted to do this. It basically is a free mentorship. Now, I know we don't have anything beyond the live stream. I am probably going to put together the Discord here for everyone to jump into and communicate and chat offline a little bit easier. But I don't know when that's coming. I've talked with a couple people in here that are willing to help me put that together. I just haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. It's moving too fast, impossible to enter, better to enter off break of high and hope for a breaker entry. Correct. Yeah, it's just not a great, there's just really not a great setup here right now. GU is not pushing back up the way EU is. GU is holding, oh, that's on the 5th. Let me get to the 15. The 1 hour, though, that's really interesting here on the 1 hour on GU. What's the 1 hour on EU look like? Kind of similar. See how that all plays out. So this low on the DXY on Friday, August 4th at 11 a.m. EU completely took out all of that liquidity here, smashing through that high and these highs over here. And look at DXY. So again, EU makes a higher high, but the DXY failed to take out that low currently. So that's kind of interesting there. Maybe potential divergence between these two correlated pairs. Currently, you know, this looks like a pretty decent setup on EJ. You've got a run of liquidity. You're in an uptrend. You get a sell side run of liquidity. It did run that low barely. No, maybe it didn't. Let's see. It doesn't need to. But it ran sell side liquidity, quick stab down, picked up liquidity, and now we're displacing higher. That little candle right there, and then you've got your see what's on the 10-minute here. On the 5, that's still the same spot. That's kind of what you could be looking at potentially here. On EJ. If we jump up to the 4-hour time frame, what do we have? All right, well, we just cleaned out all of this buy side. There's nothing to the left anywhere ever. There it is. We have to get up to the monthly to find something. Last time we were up here was in 08. Good Lord. So multi-decade highs currently on EJ. Maybe something like that. It also wouldn't, since we've taken out this massive level of liquidity here, we haven't come back down into that area right here where liquidity displaced through it. So a little caution there to be noted. Cisco says, what do you think about the actual data? Not for a trade, but do you think that it is overall bullish or bearish dollar? With inflation rising, it feels like it's more well, I could make a case that it would be bullish dollar. If inflation is rising, then you would anticipate the Fed raising rates again, which would be bullish dollar and bad for the markets. But I mean, you can see, I mean, we're basically back to where we started on US 30. S&P is just a little bit higher than where it started when the news hit. NAS is way up. Currently, it's bearish. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like people are shrugging off the that inflation rose here. I mean, we're in an uptrend. We've been looking at this for a while now, and we've said long term, we're in this uptrend, and we put in a swing low here, it looks like, for this week. So you're bullish on the foreign pairs currently. You did reach back up into this fair value gap just now. So it reached up, grabbed some liquidity, pulled away. Anytime you're going to grab this much liquidity, there's orders here to sell when it gets up in here. So it reached up, grabbed those orders, and it sold off, and now it's come back down, picked up a little buy side liquidity under here. I guarantee you, people that were long from down here, when price reached up into that liquidity, they moved their stops right up here. And now they got stopped out, which pushes, those are all buy orders, and they're going to push price back up. Long-term bullish on the foreigns, which is what we're seeing here currently. There's no setup here on EU anywhere. There's no setup here on GU anywhere. There's no fair. There's a small. I mean, potentially right there on GJ. EJ has the cleanest setup, but got these relative equal lows down here, and it hasn't completely come back down to this liquidity level. Here, it's just displaced through. So this big impulsive leg up has yet to have any kind of pullback. Just opened a new 4-hour candle, so you could anticipate this 4-hour candle coming in, putting in a wick and going higher like it has been, but pulling back into some kind of discount here. Even if you use this leg here, you're still looking at reaching back down into here. So I don't know how I feel about that yet. I'm still thinking it through and processing. US 30 failed to hold and displace lower. S&P as well fell to displace. Well, it did grab buy or sell side, pop back up. No setups though. EJ is the only one that looks like it could hold some promise, but $2 million to $2 trillion. The Forex market is what? It's like $7 or $8 trillion a day. I can't remember where. I could Google that. $5 trillion. The Forex market has a daily trading volume of $5 trillion. There's another stat. This says 6.6 trillion. So this is why I say when we pull out $400 or $4,000 profit out of a $6 trillion pool, we are nothing. We are absolutely nothing when it comes to that. H says I didn't move my stops. I still have a small percentage in on both trades. Good for you, man. You're looking like you're in a pretty healthy position there. Are you going to take that EJ trade since it meets criteria? I don't know yet. I don't know yet. That's what it does meet criteria, but I number one, I just haven't traded EJ that much, and so I'm a little more cautious on pairs that I don't work with all the time. And I'm also watching euro dollar as well a little bit here, since it's correlated EJ, the euro pairs together. Just, I don't, yeah, we'll see. Brad, can you do a 2 mil to 4 mil thing to max fund at BFP? I would have to do their one step challenge, and I don't like it. They don't, it's not good, favorable trading conditions for the trader. I haven't seen a one step challenge that I like yet. But if they were to change their parameters for one step, then maybe, yeah, but I plan on getting the 2 million with the classic challenge, and then I'll just go to a different firm and rinse and repeat. Digging the hat, Peking Tuck, baby. That boy is raking right now. Grand Slam 2 days ago, another bomb yesterday. The Astros get serious from the middle of August to the end of September. That's when they turn it on every single year. They've been there so many times now for like the last 6 years. They just kind of have that, okay, the regular season's coming to an end. We need to tune up for the playoffs. Let's go. So, they still got some ground to make up on the Rangers, the Texas Rangers. They've still got a 2-game lead in the division. But the Rangers they've spent like over $1 billion in the last like 3 years to try to catch up to the Astros. And it looks like they're finally catching up a little bit. But yeah, it'd be nice to pull off a sweep of the Orioles. We've taken 2 out of the first 3 games. The Orioles are the best team in the majors, or in the American League. Pull off a 3-game sweep in their house. That would be pretty sweet. So we'll see if they can get it done today. But yeah, man, they need to pay that boy his money. The Funded Next Stellar One Step isn't bad. I haven't kept up with Funded Next. Let me check it out. Maybe one-step challenges will be the next thing that prop firms improve to get an advantage on other prop firms. Could be, yeah. That's definitely an area they could improve in. They're more expensive. They have more strict parameters. And they're just not favorable to traders. They make it much more difficult to be profitable. Man, that oil trade actually worked out really nicely here. It is counter trend. I told you I wouldn't take that, but you can see how the breaker setup works. I mean, it just works. It doesn't work all the time, but it works consistently, very consistently. Came right back up. It did not get into that fair value gap, unfortunately, but it did get easily 50% of the way into that breaker, and then just tanked. You can see Euro falling off here now again. Coming into this 9 o'clock hour. A lot of weakness, a lot of dollar strength coming off the back of that news. Again, this is why I don't really trust this EJ trade a lot, because we've already taken out all the buy side liquidity on the higher time frame. And you could expect some kind of decent pullback, but it could work. Again, I'm just not so familiar with the EJ pair here, and I don't knowing watching what I'm seeing with Euro on other pairs, it makes me want to just hold off yet. 2 down from the Rangers. Hopefully they close the gap. Current series looking good. Yeah, they're kicking it. Jay Styles, are you in Texas? Are you an Astros fan, or are you just a baseball fan? Don't go for Funded Next. They're scam. Can you believe that Orioles announcer got canned? I never saw what he said. He was talking about the Tampa Bay Rays, but I never heard his comment. But yeah, I saw that they put him on they suspended him. But I never heard what he said. I didn't dig into it. Differences, leverage, and drawdown. Could be. No, we haven't taken a trade, Hooligan. We've EJ might have a setup here. I just have not. I've not called it, and I don't know that I'm going to yet. I really want to see how if EU displaces lower here, I would be inclined to take a short, but I don't know. I might not take anything today. Jignish says, start your own prop firm with us and we'll make a little money. I don't know. I don't really have the desire to start a prop firm. I don't know anything about it. I wouldn't even know where to start. H says, I've had several payments from them so far. No problems with Funded Next. I mean, they've been around a little while. Funded Next is that the Indian firm? I say Indian meaning like from India. Aren't they based out of India? Or is that a different one? Jay Styles, Astro fan. I lived in Houston all my life. Northwest area, Tomball. Dude, I grew up in Tomball. Actually, I grew up in Spring, but I spent a ton of time in Tomball. Lived off of 2920. Went to Klein Oak High School. Class of 93, baby. I have not been up there in a while, but Tomball, man, that's my stomping grounds. They used to have a theater up there. I don't know if they still do, but it was super cheap to go. Like, it was a regular mainstream theater, but it was super cheap to get in. It was like half price of what a normal theater was. I don't know if it's still there or not. That's back when I was in high school. It was a great cheap date. Cool, man. Nice to have another H-Town baby. Let's go. Come down to Clear Lake. We can go grab a beer. Or maybe we'll just meet up at Minute Maid. Hooligan says Bespoke has amazing spreads and commission. Yes, they do. Copying same exact trades to my TFT account, and there's a 0.5% difference. That's crazy. See, I don't understand. It's the same. They're using the same brokers, so I don't understand why Bespoke has such. I guess it's some kind of. Every prop firm can, I guess, determine the appropriate amount of slippage or execution, or I don't know, but Bespoke is legit, man. They definitely have the best. Where are you going?
Work. Sorry.
You're working?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you seen Hawaii today?
I did see the pictures of Hawaii. That's crazy.
What?
Yeah, it's burned to the ground, man. It's sad.
My parents were supposed to be there this week.
I don't know if they were going there. There's lots of islands. But yeah, it's crazy. All right, I'll see you when you get back. I forgot you were working. I'm sorry. Bangladesh. It's in my country. Gotcha. I don't know how there's so many users. I hear a lot of Funded Next complaints. I've heard a fair amount of complaints about a lot of firms, so it doesn't surprise me too much. Jay Styles, yeah, future I see a meetup coming, Astros and beers all around. Let's do it. I'm all for it, man. TFT adds some slippage and execution. I don't know why they would do that though. Like, I don't know why you need to do that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they just know something that Bespoke doesn't know, or Bespoke is just like, this is what we're doing. This is the way it's happening. Huh? Oh, the bike. Okay, let me go move my bike. Hold on, guys. So I forget that when I pull my motorcycle in. So when we moved out of our house, this townhome has a 1-car garage. So when I bring my bike in and I put it in the garage, it goes right up against the wall. There's enough room there, but she can't back out. So I forgot. I forgot she was even working today. She loves her job. She works at a spin studio. And she's either riding there or working there. She loves it. You took a smaller cut on your discount so we could receive more. Yeah, I guess that's probably what it is. Bespoke have done the same. TFT wanted the bigger cut. Yeah, that's probably true. They just decided that they would pass the benefit on to the traders and create a better trading environment rather than making more money a different way. So you're probably right. All right, got about another 12 minutes here until the 9:30 New York Stock Exchange opens, and then we'll see some more volatility pick up with, we'll see what the indexes want to do here. Besides that, there just doesn't look like there's anything cooking today. Nothing's jumping out. There's been no displacement after the news. Everything's just kind of reached back to where it was before the news hit. So a whole big fat raspberry. What's up, Isaac? Biolomansky, I haven't really had issues with TFT though. I traded both the rapid and regular. Yeah, I have a funded account with TFT. They're a good firm. I don't have much to complain about, honestly. Slippage is definitely there. It's not Bespoke is. I promise you, Bespoke has the best trading environment when it comes to spreads and slippage. So definitely take advantage of that discount code. Get 15% off an 85% profit split. If you want to use they have a discount right now that's 20%, but you can use the affiliate link in my YouTube profile. Bespoke is legit, man. I'm grateful that they're sponsoring this, that they wanted to sponsor the stream. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think they were great. I think they're great. And I fully recommend you trying them out. I ride a Honda Rebel 500. It's not a big bike. It's just a little cruiser that I like to get out and about on. Get the wind in my face. Putt around. I'm looking at getting a bigger bike here soon, but I've only been riding for not even a year. Like, I've ridden like dirt bikes and four-wheelers and stuff as a kid growing up, never a street bike. And so when I got that one, I just started with a small little Honda Rebel 500. It's a great bike. I love the bike. Highly recommend it if you're wanting to get a new bike you've never ridden before. It's like it's small enough. It's powerful enough to do what you need it to do, but it's not going to get out of control. It's not going to just fly out from underneath you. It looks great. It's bulletproof. Honda makes just great engines. So it's a great bike. I like it. I took a long off the 1 minute filler value gap. Already set to risk free. Wish me luck. Good luck. Good luck, man. I ain't going down to the 1 minute time frame though. What's the spread on EU on Bespoke? It is nothing. It's zero. It is exactly flat. It is zero spread. I'm looking at it on my MT5 right now. It's either it fluctuates between 2 pipettes and no and zero. So like right now it's 0. 0, 0, 0. 1 pipette, 0. That's the spread. Garrus says awesome bike. I really like it, man. It's a pretty bike. I'll show it to you. It's not this exact bike, but this is the bike. This is my bike right here. Man, she's pretty. It's a cool looking bike, man. It's very classic looking. That's what I ride. Again, it's not just gonna fly out from underneath you. Just a little cruiser, perfect to learn on. Get you around the road. I mean, you can get on the freeways with it, but it works pretty hard. Like once I'm up to around 65, 70 miles an hour, it's doing a lot of work. It could go a little faster probably, but it's close to redlining when I'm up in those speeds. But I don't ever get on the freeway really. I'm on roads that are like, 40, 50 miles an hour max. And it's perfect for that. I love it. It's a fun little bike. Matthew says, on average, what percentage of profits do you think is taken away from spread, slippage, and commissions? What percentage of profits? I need to think about that. I'm not. It's a good question. It shouldn't be an issue unless you trade with a 2-pip stop loss. Yeah. I mean, oh God, I don't know how these guys trade with 2 and 3 pip stop losses, especially with like trying to trade like 1 or 2% of an account. You are using such massive leverage, and your lot sizes are insane, absolutely insane. Gareth says, love the new classics they're bringing back. Yes, there's several companies that are starting to bring some of those back. They are cool looking, man. They definitely have that old school vibe. I think they look cool. I just dig them. There's some cool, sport bikes out there that I'm kind of looking at too, but I like the old school cruiser look. But I also... The nice thing about the Honda Rebel is that it's very affordable. Like you can get like Harleys, and you get into BMWs, you get into some of these bigger cruisers. I mean, you're spending 20 grand, 30 grand sometimes. And it's just like, I don't know. The whole point of having a motorcycle is that it's just this cool little thing you can go jump on that you don't have to invest $30,000 into. I like riding, but I don't know that I like riding that much. Even if I had the extra money, I don't know that I would want to do that. I just like kind of the cool, basic motorcycle. Just jump on it and go. All right, EU showing some weakness here. GU, we are displacing lower. Dollar's trying to climb back up. I would anticipate the dollar trying to reach back up into this. You've got a lot of relative equal highs up here. There's a lot of sell or buy side liquidity stacked up here now. And this fair value gap. Again, we're just stuck between these two fair value gaps. So it's not surprising that we dipped in into this fair value gap. We took out some sell side, and now we're running higher. That's not surprising to me at all. Again, remember, EU took this out and dollar did not. So we're getting some divergence there, which means we could see a flip up here on the dollar and a push back up into these highs right here, which would mean we could see a short opportunity be presented here on EU. And if you were looking for a breaker, you're probably going to want to use those two together. You do have a fair value gap in there. You might be wanting to use all of that, but 10-minute is probably where you're going to frame that. Makes the most sense. You have a beautiful little fair value gap there inside on the 5-minute. But you're gonna need this candle to displace lower, and it doesn't look like it's only got a minute and 45 seconds left on this 15-minute candle. So currently no displacement there, but if it had closed down below, and it still might, it still has a minute and a half, it could push down and close below. You might get potential. You are seeing something similar on GU here. The push up. You didn't really get the clean displacement though. Yeah. EU looks like your best bet, but it doesn't look like it's going to cooperate there. GJ coming. All right, coming into, got about another minute, and then the NYSE opens here, and we'll probably see some volatility with that news reaction here. It's an hour behind, and so when the market opens, we'll probably see a little bit of pushing and shoving going on with that. H says, I'm thinking shorts make more sense now. I mean, it's definitely looking like that could be the case, but you're not getting the clean displacement after you've grabbed this liquidity. It's basically, it's taken the sell side, it's taken the buy side. Seek and destroy is what ICT calls it. So here we go into the NYSE open. Not too crazy of a reaction yet. Very interesting. NAS showing weakness, and S&P and US 30 just kind of hanging around. If it leaves this 5-minute fair value gap open right there, and this 15-minute candle can actually close below these lows, then we might have a short opportunity coming into play there. Not sure where I would probably want to put that. Yeah, probably like right there above that high. But we're going to need this 15-minute candle to close down in here and then pull back before that happens. So if this 15-minute candle closes all that in and closes back inside this range, then there's no play, which is what it looks like it's trying to do. Jay Styles Insider question: are your tweets on a timer because it looks like you're charting, but you just tweeted? Yeah, they're. I write all my tweets and they're scheduled to go out. So the ones that are more formal looking, those have all been scheduled to go out. And then I'll get on and comment. When I'm not on, I'll be on Twitter, and if I see something to comment on, I will. Those you can tell are just my comments, but actual like tweets that are like giving inspiration or motivation or psychology or whatever, those are all pre-written and scheduled to go out. I don't want to just sit. I don't just sit on Twitter and think up stuff to say. I do it all. I sit down for about 30 minutes. Either at the end of the next day or before I get up and do the live stream, and I'll put up, I don't know, 7 or 8 to go out over the course of the day, just to kind of keep a steady flow going, dripping. It's just so odd when the indices don't ever, when they're so different. When NAS is dropping, S&P's kind of in the middle, and US 30's pumping. I mean, it's the none of them are in correlation with each other. So weird. No updates, CDev. Just watching. We're watching Eurodollar. If it can get a closure on this 15-minute candle, if this first 15-minute candle can close outside of this range here, then we may have a short setup on Eurodollar. If it doesn't, if it closes inside the range, I'm just going to call it and get off the stream. So I'll stick around, see how this 15-minute candle closes, and then we'll call it a day. Oh. Just catching up on some text messages here from some friends of mine. So that's why I'm being quiet. The stream is fine. Everything is good. I'm just reading. So it's basically filled in that whole 5-minute fair value gap, which would have been our target. And we've got about 9 more minutes here. Again, it could close down out of there, but it's just sloppy price action. Just a whole lot of consolidation. Nothing clean anywhere. And on days when there's nothing clean, the best thing you can do is just be like, hey, it was cool to sit here and watch candles print. And that's all we got to do today. We got to watch, got to hang out, got to see how price was going to deliver. And the rest of it is just chalk it up to a learning and more experience being patient and waiting for your trade setups, not jumping the gun and getting an itchy trigger finger and just trying to jump in on something. So, all right, I'm going to call it here, guys. Thank you so much for being on the stream today. Before you get out of here, if you would hit that like button for me, I would appreciate it. If you're looking to take a challenge, either use my affiliate code in the YouTube profile or use the discount code Venator when you check out with Bespoke Funding. I would appreciate that as well. We'll be doing the giveaway tomorrow at 9 a.m. So make sure you're definitely on the stream at 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll be doing the giveaway then. It will only, all the details will come on the live stream. I'm not going to tweet out the details. It's just going to be for the people that are here in the morning at 9 a.m. So make sure you're here for that. We'll give away one 10K account. But enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, happy hunting, and we'll catch you guys mañana. Adios, y'all.